Well, thank you, Gilbert. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How's everyone doing today?
Great.
I heard a couple of grades. What about the rest of you out there? Okay, I got a wave. May 19th, 2024, order of service. Our monthly theme is Good to Great to Grand. Good to Great to Grand. Titled The Steps We Take. The path of self-discovery brings us closer to our own authentic expression, moving from good to great to grand. And now, if you would, for us to move from good to great to grand, if we would just relax right now, put your feet flat on the floor, and prepare for our invocation. We know that God is here already. God is already with each and every one of us. For there is only God. God made everything from himself. And therefore, God is all around us, all in us, and all through us. We are one with God. And we know that the process of the program for Miracle Center for Spiritual Living, 2653 South Taylor Road in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, is taking place right now just as it's supposed to. We are safe, we are secure, and we are blessed in this day. We are blessed as we take in today's lesson, which is good to great to grand, the steps we take. And if you're in agreement with me, please say with me, and so it is.
So it is.
And so we let it be. Welcome again to this house of God. Welcome to Miracle Center for Spiritual Living. Our affirmation today is, I live from my values in ways that enhance my life and the world around me. I live from my values in ways that enhance my life and the world around me. Sounds good. Let's say this together. I live from my values in ways that enhance my life and the world around me. Just let that soak in while we get ready to listen to our first music. Now, doesn't it make you feel like rising up?
Yeah.
Doesn't it make you feel like you've risen? It's a wonderful song. I always love that Andra Day song. She has such a wonderful, beautiful voice that's so different. Our monthly theme summary is, this month, as we explore the topic of moving from good to great to grand, we will highlight the process of both self-actualization and the collective actualization, and he'll put that word twice. By exploring our inner landscape, we will take stock of where we are in our own process, what values we aspire to, and how we can begin to live those values in a new and powerful ways. As we begin to have clarity about who we are and the spaces we want to live in, we can begin to create spaces and opportunities for others to do the same. The impact of this process on our collective experience will support our continued vision of a world where everyone is empowered to express and live authentically. And for a summary of today's topic, this week we will explore the steps we take in the process of self-actualization, moving from good to grand from good to great to grand. This process involves aligning our thoughts, actions, and intentions. It is the pursuit of living in harmony with our authentic selves and activating that expression in our individual and communal experiences. Through self-reflection and introspection, we gain awareness of our values, passions, and purpose, allowing us to align our lives with those core aspects of our being. With clear intentions, we set a course for personal growth and self-discovery. Living in this space goes beyond mere contemplation, requiring active engagement and activating our authentic selves daily. It is through taking inspired action that we move forward, that we move beyond limitations and expand our horizons. This is not a one and done deal. Instead, it is a lifelong journey where the pursuit of alignment, intention, and activation catalyzes our continued evolution. I would encourage you to take these words home and read them this entire week. Now, from a science of mind point of view, from a science of mind perspective, living from our values is viewed as an ongoing process of spiritual evolution rather than a static destination, Ernest Holmes writes. The goal of life does not mean that we shall ever arrive at a spiritual destination where everything remains static and inactive. To our present understanding, which seems a goal will, when attained, be the starting point for a new and further evolution. In essence, what we may perceive as the goal in our present understanding is merely the beginning of a new and deeper level of growth and evolution. Our journey towards self-actualization and authenticity, supported by our values, is a continuous cycle of expansion and transformation. I'm going to say that again. Our journey towards self-actualization and authenticity, supported by our values, is a continuous cycle of expansion and transformation. Our values are the guiding principle that aligns us with the universal intelligence and creative power of the universe. By consciously living from this space, we open ourselves to a greater understanding of our divine nature and our interconnectedness with all life. This perspective involves an ongoing exploration and expression of our highest ideals, recognizing there is always room for further evolution and expansion. And so it is. Amen. And now today, we're going to have our message from Reverend June Clark. The steps we take. Wonderful. Magnificent. Complete perfection. Thank you.
It's good to have Jerry and Jackie home again.
Thank you.
Yes. Jerry came to the same conclusion, maybe not in the same way that I did, about what's going on with us. And I don't know, I guess since January, the lessons that have been coming for us to focus on just felt like I'd had it. I felt like, yeah, we got it. And we don't need to, almost in essence, the way I felt was just continue to dig and see where we're at, and are we growing, or even the term self-actualization. Who talks like that? What was the other one? Let me see here. Okay, the process of both self-actualization and collective actualization. And if you're not getting it self-wise, how are you going to get it collective-wise? So I just felt, regardless or in spite of or no matter what the outline was for this week, that I was going to look at what I entitled my interpretation of what I have come to agree with or disagree with these last few months is the steps we take, and we are actually wonderful, magnificent, and complete perfection. And that is something that's our basis. That's our completeness. That's our truth. And maybe just for me, but sometime when I dig too far down and not up, it creates something within me that is not good for my personal health and my personal growth. I don't know about you, so I'm speaking for myself. But what I know is that the principles of science of mind, the belief in the principles of science of mind, and the understanding of the principles of science of mind is who I am, what I am, and how I must live in order to be happy, in order to be prosperous, in order to be healthy. So I just love the lessons that we've done since January. I love the introspection. I guess we've been doing, and I've been doing this self-actualization, this collective actualization. But today, actually it started last week, and when I decided to focus the lesson a little bit different, is that I know what I know, and I know there's an awful lot of things that I don't know. And if that's self-actualization, then I am in a perfect place. And I ought to be, after living X number of years, if I feel that I am still in the same place that I was even 5 years ago, let alone 20 or 30 years ago, that I really need to look up and find out what self-actualization and collective actualization means. I know that I have grown, as we say, that I am living the best self that I know how to be. And I'm going to ask Chris to put on our familiar song. And if you know it, you can hum it, you can sing it, and you can interpret it into yourself and really, really feel it and take it to heart and know that it is who you are. This is an old anthem of science of mind, and some of the new songs come along. This one's really one we treasure. And the one that played as Jerry spoke to, Rise Up, that's exactly, he got it when he introduced the song. This is what we are doing. We are rising up, and it's because I love myself so much. This is a little bit different than the other one we're going to play, but it fits exactly for today. So we're going to start with The Ride of Your Life. Start with Holmes, Ernest Holmes, on page 412, second chapter from the Science of Mind textbook. So here we go. The object of form to which we give our attention is created from the very attention which we give to it. A Ernest Holmes circular sentence. The objective form to which we give our attention is created from the very attention which we give to it. Like the song, I love myself so much that I can love you so much, that you can love you so much, that you can start loving me. Wonderful, affirmative, circular. Page 412, second verse, or second chapter, the very first sentence. The objective is but the reflection of the objective state of thought. It's what we think. And in order for anything to happen to us, it's got to go through that. It's kind of like, I go like this, like a washing machine. My washing machine doesn't even have a thing in the middle anymore. It's the new way to do it. So we got to think a new way. It still goes back and forth and back and forth. And we need to go back and forth and up and down and around the corner and come back again with our thought patterns. Just listening to, well, all week, all month, the last few months, just listening to what the pundits, and there's supposed to be an awareness of us. They're supposed to be speaking for us. They're supposed to be understanding us. What do they tell us that you fully grasp as yours, that you fully understand? It depends on what podcast you're listening to. It depends on what TV show that you're watching, what one commentator says is totally opposite of the other. Whatever candidate says is not in line with the other. So somehow in all this mix-mosh, we've got to think for ourselves today. We've got to truly listen, not only on Sunday when we come to church. Take these bulletins, take these pages, write them down, read them for yourself, and see how they align you up with the principles of science of mind. Because if you are within the sound of my voice, you obviously get something enlightening from the science of mind as it is presented. So don't just leave here and leave with your what? Your mind thinking it knows everything you ought to know. I'm hoping that today brightens us up and gets us out of the doldrums. If you're in the doldrums, I was for a little while. Just, oh, that's what they said last week. Oh, I heard it this morning. One of the newer singers or whatever she is decided she's not going to vote, and it's someone that relates to the young people of America. What are we thinking? What are we doing? So keep it to yourself. Don't go out of your house and vote, but don't put more mix-mosh, unintelligent, futuristic attitude about my life out there. I'm going to vote. So from the pulpit, I'm going to vote. Everyone within the sound of my voice. You vote the way you want to, but I'm going to vote. So let me get off of that and move on here. Life is a blackboard upon which we consciously or unconsciously write thought messages which govern us. What are you thinking about? How many times did I hear that? Or how many times did we say that to someone who is what we consider doing something that's not safe or that really seems rather unintelligent, I'll put it that way. What in the world are you thinking about? Because what you're thinking about shows up as your experience. And what shows up as your experience is exactly what you get. Not that the comedian, the devil made me do it? There is no devil. So therefore, look within at yourself. Why did this occur? Why did this come up? How come it's not happening the way obviously you didn't think about it, because if you had thought about it, it wouldn't be showing up as it shows up. We hold the chalk and the eraser in our hand, but are ignorant of this fact. When it is proven that I am wrong, when it is proven that I am wrong, can I have the honesty, the integrity, the dignity, the willingness to look back? What did I say? What did I say out loud? What thoughts ran through my mind that created me to act in that way, which ended up in certain things happening, certain things going opposite than what I thought, but obviously it was what I was thinking because it showed up. That's the truth. It wasn't because dear Chris here decided something and then I did it. No. Whatever showed up was what I was thinking and what I did within my consciousness and through my actions. What we now experience, we need not continue to experience. But the hand which holds the eraser must do its neutralizing work. It doesn't say chop it off. It doesn't say act like it never happened. It says neutralizing. Maybe I would like the word neutralizing, and maybe it means the same thing. I'll have to think on that. As actualizing. Maybe neutralizing. I have to think about that. Maybe just being smart enough to be able to read the word actualization, maybe reading the word neutralizing, could be changing your mind, change your thinking, change your life. Ernest Holmes quote. Just woke me up. That was an awakening. I will blot out their I will block out their transgressions and remember them no longer against them. Let me read that whole thing again. I will block out their transgressions and remember them. That's why it didn't make sense. No longer against them. Okay. Again, Ernest Holmes in his wonderful style of writing here. We can forget, not saying, I'm not going to bring forgiveness in because it really doesn't matter. It matters what you do with your sense of thinking. You can think and know, and you can also take that stinking thinking and kick it out of your activities. Take it out of your expressions of what you do and how you interact and the way you progress. The way you progress. You don't have to continue to do it the same way over and over and over again, because there is an expression. If you continue to do it over and over again, it is considered insanity. It's insane. If you butt your head against this wall knows exactly what it is. It knows exactly what it's made out of. And it knows at some point you are going to crack your brain. You are going to crack your head. You are going to bleed. And it's still going to be a wall. Life is a motion picture of subjective causes. Again, not because somebody else thought it or somebody else said that's a good idea to do. It's because you picked up on the idea, you decided it's a good thing to do. Perhaps it is, perhaps it was, perhaps it wasn't. So if it wasn't, take your subjective self and look at yourself and do something about it. In all aspects of your life, with all people in your life. What is the screen? What is the screen and motion? What is the screen and are the figures real? Are the figures real? What is it that you see? What is it that you see if there's a large clock and it's a sun clock and the hands are really, really big on a sun shining on a huge clock? You're not going to see a shadow because it's in alignment. The hands are in alignment. It's noon. It's high noon. But as the sun moves, you can do this with statues, you can stand in the sun, however you want to do it. When the sun moves, it's going to start creating shadows because it has moved. So it's not negative if you have shadows in your life. They talk about shadow work. I'm not going to get into all that. If you see a shadow and it's coming from the sun, which is the light, and think of it as the light in your brain. Think about it as something, God is trying to tell me something, you know that song from The Color Purple? Step just a little bit over. Just step a little bit over. See if the shadow changes. And a lot of times I've said it here from the podium, if you stand or sit, whatever, and you're staring straight ahead, what I can see is only actually this far. But if I turn my head, I begin to see more of the piano. I can see some shape over there, and if I turn my head all the way over here, I realize it's a drum. You cannot know what you don't know, but you can learn and you can examine and you can proceed from where you are. So if there are shadows in your life, look at them. Maybe it's a positive thing. Maybe the shadow is someone that has passed in your life. I believe in this kind of stuff. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. You may not believe in it. But someone who has passed, and they're literally trying to tell you something just because you have the vision of them being in your life at this moment. Just take a deep breath and take a sigh and say, hey, what's going on? Maybe you get a response about something you've been thinking about a long time. Maybe just that presence in your life is enough to tell you, I'm right, I'm wrong, or I've got to investigate, or maybe I need to see a practitioner. I don't know. But stop and realize that there's stuff going on around us out here that is very, very meaningful. And if you think you have the exact right answer about every single thing, or everybody else's opinion, slow down. Let your shoulders come down. And think about what you're listening to, think about what's being said, thinking about how you are interpreting it, and proceed from there. Right, wrong, or indifferent, there's always some other way to look at everything, and you may come back to the same conclusion or you may not. Real as figures, but not self-created, not self-perpetuating. I think it's so easy to perpetuate what I think is right because it feels better than what I think I ought to be doing. I don't know about you. I get very comfortable in my own inability to look clearly and honestly and get up and move forward and do something different. Happy is the one who holds the projecting machine firmly. Remember, this is a movie of life. Holds the projecting machine firmly in his conscious thought, and who knows how to make conscious use of it. Again, sometimes we don't know what we don't know. And for goodness sake, we're doing the best that we can do, the best that we can be. And what that's going to do is get us to the next level, because all you can do is your best. And then the awakening is so wonderful. It's so wonderful to realize, whoa, I managed to get through that. I did that. And I don't think it ends when you're 12 years old. I mean, got a few years packed up in this body, and I get real excited when I am able to see what I couldn't see before and do what I couldn't do before and be proud in it and live it in a new way. So now we come down to nourishing rain. You are nourished by the gentle presence of life, just as the rain nourishes the earth. Spirit is forever showering you with love. I just love that song, Showers of Blessings. Makes me cry. If I sing it when I'm with a choir, I had to let the other altos go on because my voice will not allow it to come out of my body. Showers of blessings, showering you with life. Love is always radiating into your life, and life is forever illuminating your way. So if you would play that next song. Here's our anthem that I think some of you remember, some of you may never have heard it before, but it's truly the truth of what we should feel about ourselves. So we're going to go to page 304 in our Science of Mind textbook, and it's the third and fourth chapter here. We would start in the middle of the third chapter. A demonstration is made when it comes straight through from the truth. A demonstration is made when it comes straight through from the truth. That's it. Whenever anything happens, what else can be doing it? If there is only one thing that is going on, there is one existence, O-N-E, it is indivisible. This statement, a demonstration is made when it comes straight through from the truth. If you are being totally honest with yourself, how can we say, where did that come from? How come that happened? Why did I do that? A demonstration is made when it comes straight through from the truth. And truth is a capital T. It comes straight through from God. And the expression of science of mind is that we are perfect. We are one with it. We are perfect. So, we mess up every once in a while. But do we? That's, what are those things we went through a while ago? Those statements that are true, but they're not true, and, conundrums or whatever you want to call them. It's about belief. It's about knowing. Because I say that because if I do something and I think it's not good, honestly, it is my stinking thinking, because I thought it. That's why it showed up. It's not because I was right or wrong or indifferent, whatever. It's because I thought it and it showed up. How else can it be? A demonstration is made when it comes straight through from the truth. The one who wishes to make a demonstration must clear up his or her own subjective atmosphere. The reason being that he or she may be objectively making statements which his or her subjective thought may be denying. In this way, we often neutralize our word as fact as it is spoken. In essence, we don't look at ourselves and know that we can be imperfect. We're perfect within our imperfections. It's really that simple. We're perfect within our imperfections. Now, for me, if you continue to know that whatever it is you are doing in your life is harmful, is hurtful, is hurting another, and you continue to do it, that's because you have decided in your mind not to examine who you are and why you are doing what you are doing, because you feel comfortable in what you are doing. So therefore, why should I change? You're still perfect. You're still one with God. But it does not mean you are living the principles that we ought to be living by. When Jesus said, "Resist not," he meant that non-recognition of evil is the only way to avoid it. So if you don't think it, you can't do it. Back to that sentence, everything has to be that it comes through that filter, which is God. It doesn't even have a filter, it just exists as who we are. This is true according to the law of cause and effect. What's the cause? Why did that happen? Oh, it's because Susie Bell, Hargley Bell, whatever, said. That's why that happened to me. No. I hope we are of an age, I hope we are of a level of experience that we can't be like 2-year-olds anymore and say, yeah, my brother over there, my sister, they made me do it. No, take responsibility for what we're doing and who we are, and live the life of the science of mind principles. And we are perfect in every aspect of our life. No matter what we do, we are always an expression of God living on this planet as expressions of God. This is true according to the law of cause and effect. For what we persist in recognizing, we persist in holding in place. That which we refuse to recognize, we neutralize, and it is no longer there so far as we are concerned. We don't accept it. We don't see it. We don't believe it. And what is there about science of mind? You must believe it, and you must live it. And if you don't believe it, it's wonderful, because you've got a challenge. To change your thinking, change your life. That's what science of mind is all about. So I am great. I am the greatest. We all know who said that. Muhammad Ali. I am the greatest, with his pretty face. You're not going to hit this face. You're not going to mess up this face, because I am the greatest. And I will dance around you, and I will punch you, and I will knock you out. That was his motto. That's what he lived by. And he surely did it many times, many times. If you choose to convey who you are and bring forth your distinctive and irreplaceable soul expression, you'll be in the groove of joyous living. And that is from the book called Joyous Living Journal by Reverend Dr. Petrus Weldes and Reverend Dr. Christian Sorensen, two ministers of religious science. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself. And that is a quote from Alan Alda. So in all this, I feel like I'm kind of shouting, but I'm really feeling this progression in my own experience, my own life. I've just been moving through, physically expelling, mentally expelling junk, stuff. And it feels like there's so much space to fill up with joy and happiness and peace and love and continued effort to be better, to be a new one, to grow in the essence and the truth of life. So I'm going to have Laverne come up and do our reading, and then we have another song, and then I'll do the treatment.
Going from good to great to grand. All right. Wonderful message. Wonderful. Self-actualization is a deeply personal and transformative journey that requires courage, resilience, and self-awareness. Individuals can unlock their potential and find fulfillment and happiness through self-reflection, self-care, and commitment to growth and authenticity. As we navigate the challenges and opportunities of 2024 and beyond, may we all find inspiration and strength in the power of music and the wisdom of those who have walked the path of self-actualization before us. Individuals can stay motivated on their journey to self-actualization by setting specific and achievable goals, celebrating small victories, seeking inspiration from others, and practicing self-compassion and self-care. Listen to the song's words of truth about who we are. And so it is.
And we'll call ourselves, our God selves, our human selves, and our spiritual selves, hero. And the hero that we name by so many names. We say God, we say Buddha, we say Yahweh, we say many, 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 many names. And it all means God. There's only one. There's Jehovah. There's just the essence of truth. This bold entity that is the allness, the oneness, the onlyness that we are. And the magnificence of this oneness, this God that is present as us, in us, through us, in all aspects of everything we think, say, and do. There's no one, nothing else. So we can seek this truth. We can speak directly to God in written form, in burning wood, in a prayer. We can draw it. We can express it in song. We can express it in words. We can express it in a smile. We can express it in slowing down, in the quietness of our own heart, doing our own introspection of God's self, and knowing when we are in our truth, knowing when we are at our best, our highest, our grandest, are moving toward the ultimate self. Because we do grow and we do move. We move upward within ourselves, our outer selves, which too is God. And we can speak our word. We speak our word for health, for ourselves, for those in our church community, for our children, for the mental health, for the glorious health of body, for the glorious health of income, of money, of food, of divine knowledge, of how we are going to answer questions about our lives. This is health. This is perfection of who we are. We grow in peace in this world. We grow in peace in every single body, every single household, every single country, every single phenomena of thought of our leadership. We grow and we move forward. We are divine emanations of God. What comes through our consciousness, our mind, is what our life is. Be healthy in all aspects of your life. May this leadership of our countries be healthy in the leadership of our lives and theirs. I bless this coming together of knowingness, of our wisdom, of our sensibility, of our actualization, whatever that means to you, and to our continuous growth. I bless Miracle Center because it is beyond words, beyond a building. It is a group of spiritual entities who are changing this world within ourselves, within the community, and within this entire world, because we do believe and we live our truth. Knowing that this is the truth, I simply allow it to unfold itself. For this moment is glorious, we are glorious, and we continue to grow and go forward in all that is good. And let us together say, and so it is. Amen, amen, and amen. So Jerry's going to come up and do our announcements. We're going to take up collection. And this one.
Wow, let's give Reverend June applause. You know, this science of mind is sort of hard to sort of grasp. But once you grasp it, you become the leader of your own life rather than a follower. You become actuated. You become a person that can make things happen in your life and in all around you and, of course, around the world. And I just give thanks for this wonderful power that it's led us on to, let us know all about. Don't forget now your special offering that we've been doing since, well, I don't know, it's been quite a few months. The $25 in the month offering that we've been saving extra so that we can have it go towards paying off our, we call it mortgage, but it's the end of our land contract. The building will be ours at the end of this year, the first part of next year. We'll have a chance to burn whatever we want to burn, the land contract, the mortgage, or whatever. But just give thanks for the time. I give thanks for that too. Practitioners are available for prayer, for personal prayer and assistance after church on Sunday mornings. We have only these golden scarves around our necks. Me and Fran are here this morning. And if you need prayer for anything, just let us know. You can also fill out the forms on the backs of the chairs. There are prayer request forms. You fill it out and put it into the prayer request container up here. And if you want to write down or do more, you can email your request to Fran at Fran's email address that's on the bulletin. And let's see, I believe that's it for the announcements. I don't know, I just felt so charged up with all of the things that Reverend June was talking about this morning. It just felt so good. For those of you that don't know, my wife and I were on vacation for 2 weeks. And it's nothing like getting back home and getting in your own bed and and feeling really good. We went to Florida, and it was 95 plus just about every day down there. And we went through the worst rainstorms of our lives to get there. So it was like we went through quite a bit to get there and get back. I think we went through a rainstorm coming back, too, so it got us coming and going. And then to put the cherry on top of the cake, when we got up to leave my son's house in Knoxville, Tennessee, to come home, something had happened to his electricity, so we couldn't see what we were doing. So we had to pack up in the dark. Whatever we left there, he'll mail it to us. But the electricity in the neighborhood was out, so we had an eventual trip. Well, we're happy to be back here, back in our own house, back in our own center, with all of you wonderful, beautiful people. And now I'll just do the benediction. If you would, just Get comfortable, put your feet flat on the floor. We just give thanks for this time that we've been together. And we know that we have had a wonderful, blessed service that reminded us of all the things that Ernest Holmes teaches. Ernest Holmes is a grand and wonderful teacher that gave us this religion, science of mind. And we know that God is watching over us. And we are working in and through God in all that we do. And we know that we're blessed this week as we go to our individual homes. And I just give thanks for this time as I release it into the ethers. And if you're in agreement with me, you can say, and so it is, so I let it be. Amen, amen. And now if you were gathered in the center, we will do the peace song. And then we'll talk with some of the folks that are out here on Zoom. And then we'll go across the hall and see what kind of little snack has been prepared for us.